Hi, I'm Michael Feinstein. Welcome to Meredith Willson Week. This is the kickoff of our celebration of this amazing man. And here we are in the Songbook Foundation archives, and we're going to have a great exploration coming up shortly. Lisa Lobdell, what have we here?
Well, I thought today I would pull just a few items from the Meredith Willson papers.
And when you say a few, this is a fraction of what we have. How can you give a brief description of the volume of what the Meredith Willson collection consists of?
We have about 130 boxes of material that came from Meredith Willson's estate. About 50% of that were papers, scrapbooks, photo albums, scripts, those types of materials. The other half were audio recordings, video, film, slides, 3,700 slides, I think.
Any stereo slides, the stereoscopic?
No, we didn't find any of those. Slide viewer. Lots of little interesting tidbits like that. So,
and there was a Kennedy film, right?
Yes, we had an 8mm Kennedy film. Meredith was very involved in the Big Brothers program in California, and he was given the Big Brother of the Year award by John F. Kennedy. So we have that small little video. So yeah. But what I have here today, it's kind of a hodgepodge of Meredith's career, most of it focusing on the Music Man, but we've got some other fun items too. This, another one of Meredith's claims to fame, is that he hosted the first televised Grammy Award ceremony.
Which was what year?
1959. And this little bit of correspondence has lots of letters from people congratulating him on a job well done. But this letter was interesting because of Meredith's response. And Meredith was generally a very easygoing guy, nice to everyone. But this person, you can see here, says, "We listened to the Grammy Awards, and we are still somewhat nauseated. The Tabernacle Choir saved the hour from being a disgusting failure. Whoever the judges were, they certainly have a distorted sense of music. Why they let Ellington present such garbage is beyond the power of common reasoning, when such artists as Clyburn was not given the opportunity of giving us some beautiful, inspiring music. And, you know, why you accepted the position of MC to present such tripe? When you are such an advocate of fine music, I'll never know. I guess the whole world is cockeyed." So Meredith decided to respond.
Dear Mr. Halgren, there should be no doubt in your mind who the judges were if you listened to the program. It was clearly pointed out that 2,000 members of the Academy, the top recording artists, the top technicians, the top producers in the recording field. The public's acceptance of records the past year also had to be taken into consideration, of course. I was engaged to represent a very proud industry, and I was proud of the opportunity to do so. Of course, I was not told what the winning compositions were in advance of the program rehearsal. You are not the only person, by the way, who does not have the experience of understanding of modern music to be able to distinguish between the rock and roll junk and the very fine technical proficiency of a Duke Ellington composition. As the saying goes, that which one does not understand, one hates. And what gives you the right to suppose Van Cliburn was not invited to play? In my presence, the very fine director, Alan Handley, pleaded with Mr. Van Cliburn to play even a small excerpt, and Mr. Cliburn loftily refused. Loftily refused. Well, how do you refuse and loftily refuse? No! Yes, the whole world does occasionally give the impression of being cockeyed, particularly on the occasions when people go off half-cocked without knowing what they are talking about. Cordially, there you go. Well, that's pretty swell. Yes.
Yeah, that was a pretty strong letter from Meredith.
Yes.
So that's some of his correspondence.
And these look like radio scripts,
They are. This one's from the Texaco Star Parade, 1964.
which I miss.
I'm sorry. But you can listen to it again now that we've digitized it.
Right?
Yeah. And then we have also Meredith Willson for Jello in 1949.
Jello.
Oh, well, you've heard of the Talking People, right?
Yes, but have they?
I probably not. Let's see if I can turn this up a little bit so they can hear it. Meredith created a group of singers who spoke in unison. And
Well, this is my unpredictable, incredible, sometimes irritating as heck, but frequently mildly amusing Talking People.
So, to explain the Talking People, for anyone who's seen The Music Man, You Got Trouble, My Friend, which everyone says is the first rap. Actually, Gershwin did rap in Porgy and Bess, but that's a whole other thing. In 1935. I hate your strut and style. I hate the things. It's dialogue with rhythmic accompaniment. But he got the idea, Meredith got the idea for that recitation from his idea of the Talking People, which was 5 people who spoke in unison, as you said, and were singers, so they would speak, but they did things with vocal inflections, where they would go up and they would go down, and they would do very musical things with the voice that was much more than speaking, but we have digitized his recordings from his radio shows of the Talking People, and it's quite extraordinary, very, very clever, very innovative. Nobody had done anything like that, and typical of Meredith Willson, he created something that was groundbreaking, and nobody even realized it at the time. They thought it was clever, but when you look back, we see that what he did was something that was really the progenitor, is that the right word, of rap, of what became rap. So you wouldn't connect that to Meredith Willson, but there is a lineage there. So
exactly.
that's what you can learn from here.
That's right. That's right. So then Meredith Willson, he got busy, and he wrote one of his first musicals, the first musical and the most popular one, which was The Music Man. But he wrote 4 altogether. Do you know all 4 of them?
Four
Four
musicals, yes.
Yes, he wrote 4 musicals.
Yes, well, The Music Man, Here's Love, The Unsinkable Molly Brown in 1491.
Yes, exactly.
What do I win? Very early draft, it says.
Yes.
1954, and the show opened in 57, right?
Right. So this is the early draft.
And this is, by this point it's called The Music Man, because previously it was called The Silver Chalice, the something chalice?
Yes, I think the silver triangle.
The Silver Triangle.
Silver triangle. Yeah. Now what do I get?
A hug when we're allowed.
Oh, okay. So if you start reading through this, you'll see that the opening scene is nothing like the final version. A lot of the characters have changed.
And the songs.
Yeah, and the songs. You'll see a lot of changes if you go and look through all the different scripts. But of course, The Music Man was a resounding success on Broadway. And interestingly, for a period of time around the world. And at one point, a newspaper suggested that The Music Man was being performed somewhere around the world every day of the year. And we have some of these old royalties.
That show the money he got and the location of where it came from.
These are the statements. And I was really surprised when I looked at this. He played in Vietnam, which in '66, probably not that amazing since we had troops over there. Thailand, Sweden, Singapore, Mexico, Norway, Indonesia.
And always translated into the native language?
Yes. As far as I know. I say that only because here we have the Chinese script. You'll have to tell me where 76 trombones might begin, because I can't read this. Actually, do we start back here? I'm not sure. But Music Man was one of 2 musicals that went to Beijing in 1987. Do you know what the other one was?
1776. No, I don't.
The Fantastics. Isn't that amazing?
Oh,
I found
it
that
is.
really interesting.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So here we have
The Chinese.
a Chinese poster for the Music Man. If you look closely at this, I found this fascinating, that in 1987, the American flag was held higher than the Chinese flag. And then a couple of years ago, after looking at this poster for, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, someone pointed out that the faces looked like the border of China. Now here, when the Music Man opened, 1957, right? December 1957? Meredith's birthday is May 18th. And so May 18th in 1958, the whole cast created a birthday card for him. Isn't this fantastic? Have you seen this before?
No.
Yes, it's fantastic. There's Iggy Wolfington,
Whom I knew.
Bob Preston.
Kermit Bloomgarden, the producer.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Winthrop. Boy, that's great.
Isn't that wonderful? Let's look at this. Let me pull this out of the way a little bit and make some room here.
So this says fan mail.
Yeah, this is Meredith's scrapbook of fan mail. And I've marked a few items in here. We've digitized this scrapbook because it's pretty fragile. But I love some of the letters that you find in here because they're just from ordinary people. Here's one from the Iowa Braille and Sight Saving School, and apparently...
Vinton, Iowa.
In Vinton, Iowa. Yes, thank you. And apparently, Meredith and Renee visited that day. And he's got letters here from the kids in the classes.
Oh.
Thanking him for coming and how much they enjoyed his presentation.
And they're all Braille.
Yes, they're all Braille. Isn't that neat?
Very sweet. Oh. White House. 1964.
There's a letter from Robert Preston, 1960, telling Meredith that he has finally gone to see the Music Man. He'd performed it hundreds of times, but he's finally gone to see it. And he says that he laughed and he cried in all the right places. And he was looking forward to going to see Unsinkable Molly Brown.
That's great. That's lovely.
Yeah. And his wife, Catherine, signed a note at the bottom, handwritten note, that says, "I loved Molly. I still feel warm and weepy and wonderful. That's how the theater is supposed to make one feel, and I'm grateful to you. Love, Catherine."
Very sweet.
So lots of fun things.
And so it's letters from celebrities mixed in with just ordinary fan mail, people he doesn't know.
The common folk.
Well, things that were significant to him. Doris Day, 1966. Dear Meredith, Till There Was You must be my favorite song in the whole world. I've just been singing it and I'm so filled with admiration that I had to drop you a note. Please don't think I'm nutty. This comes straight from the heart. Warmly, Doris. How great. Dorothy Fields, one of the great lyricists. Dear Meredith, it was wonderful of you to remember me on opening night. Believe me, I appreciate it. 1966, that would have been opening of Sweet Charity.
Okay. And then Angela Lansbury,
who's just turning 95 as we look at this. Dear Meredith, your letter thrilled me. How dear you are to write. Of course, I understood about you not coming back. I do hope your dear wife is continuing to progress towards complete recovery. So that would have been, they must have gone to see Mame and weren't able to go backstage, because that's also
probably
1966.
Oh, this was a nice one from a parent. Our son played Professor Harold Hill in the Paul Revere Junior High production of Music Man in May, and ever since then I've been meaning to write you and thank you for Music Man. Peter, never much of a reader, read your book, but he didn't know the territory, and played and replayed your record explaining how you and Mrs. Willson write the play. Both my husband and I feel Music Man helped change Peter from a diffident, shy child into a delightful young man. That's kind of what you're doing with Songbook Academy, isn't it?
Exactly. I'll take credit.
We hope.
Yes, we all are.
So yeah, so those are just some of the fun letters from celebrities.
Yes,
and
Richard
from,
Rogers. I just saw you pass them.
Ah, okay, yeah. So, have we covered it all?
I think we have.
Oh, did you want to hear a quick clip from the Chinese production in Beijing?
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, she's got a lovely voice.
The orchestra was behind her. She was ahead of the orchestra, but maybe she was in a hurry that night. Yeah. Well, thank you for this. This is quite wonderful to touch literally little bits of Meredith's life. So come and visit us, everybody.
Yeah.
It's all here.
Thank you.